If you're tired of getting radared, missing torps, or losing cap fights, this guide is for you. I'll walk you through the 5 pillars of destroyer play that will instantly boost your win rate. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's Normal Guy of the North here. Now, some of you know me as the submarine guy, but here's a little secret. I actually started as a destroyer main. That's right. Before I was sneaking around underwater, I was zipping across the map in little greyhounds, spotting, capping, and trying not to get deleted in the first 3 minutes. So today, I want to share with you 5 core principles that every good destroyer player lives and dies by. These aren't gimmicks. These are the habits that separate the DDs who control games from the ones who vanish early and leave their team blind. And I'm going to break each one down in detail with both practical recommendations and why they matter. Plus, I'll sprinkle in a few mistakes I see all the time, so you don't have to learn them the hard way. Let's dive in. Concealment and Vision Control. Destroyers live and die by their concealment. A well-built DD can often spot enemy ships from 5 to 7 kilometers while staying invisible itself. That stealth is your superpower. You are the eyes of the team. How to do it right. Always run Concealment Expert on your captain. That's non-negotiable. Pair it with Concealment System Mod 1 in slot 5. At the start of the battle, position yourself just ahead of your fleet, but don't charge straight into a cap. Instead, use islands, map edges, and your speed, 35, 40 knots or more, to scout flanks and spot enemy destroyers early. The key is timing. In the first 3 minutes, your job is spot, deny, then cap. Spot the enemy approach, deny their destroyer an easy entry, then only step into the circle when you know where the threats are. Why it matters. Vision literally wins games. A spotted enemy team bleeds HP. Your battleships and cruisers can farm safely, your carriers know where to strike, and you rack up spotting ribbons that quietly add tens of thousands of assisted damage to your scoreboard. Lose vision early, and your whole team goes blind. Common mistake. DDs firing their guns too early. Remember, firing blooms your detection by 3 to 4 kilometers for 20 seconds. That's a death sentence if there's a radar cruiser or a battleship waiting. Fix. Only use your guns when it's the right fight, usually against other DDs or in endgame cleanups. Torpedoes is pressure, not lottery tickets. Torpedoes are the most feared weapon in your arsenal. One hit can rip 15 to 25k off a battleship. But here's the trick. The best DD captains don't use torps as slot machines. They use them as pressure tools. How to do it right. Don't aim where the lead indicator tells you. Aim where the enemy has to go, through narrow straits, around islands, or when kiting away from your team's push. Stagger your spreads. Launch 1 set for the turnout, 1 set for the straight line. This forces enemies to choose between bad options. Reload management is huge. Never sit with full racks. Even missed torps that cut off an enemy push are doing their job. For Japanese torp boats like Shimakaze, use wide spreads to deny entire areas. For hybrids or close-range knife fighters, take torpedo acceleration and make your torps harder to dodge in brawls. Why it matters. Torpedoes don't reveal your position. Even if you don't land hits, you shape the battlefield. A battleship that has to turn out eats your team's AP salvo broadside. A cruiser that dodges into an island loses map control. That's pressure. Common mistake. The classic wall of skill, launching 15 torps in a random direction and praying. Fix. Think 1 step ahead. Ask, where is he going to be in 20 seconds? Not, where is he right now? Gun discipline and destroyer duels. Not all destroyers are torpedo specialists, some are gunboats. Think Gearing, Halla, and Kleber. For these ships, your guns are your bread and butter. But for every DD, guns are your best tool to win DD duels. How to do it right. Default to HE shells for damage over time, module breaks, and fires. But if you catch a broadside DD or light cruiser at 4 to 6 kilometers, switch to AP. You'll chunk half their HP in seconds. Don't gun recklessly. Use your guns to finish low HP ships, or when you've got a clear advantage in support. In duels, use terrain. Fight near an island where only the enemy DD sees you, not their whole team. USN smoke is fantastic for baiting a duel, but never just sit in your smoke farm firing at BBs. That's an invitation to blind torps or radar. Keep moving. Why it matters? Killing enemy DDs is the single most important thing you can do for your team. Without them, the enemy loses vision and cap control. Even trading half your health for their destroyer can be worth it if you live long enough to keep spotting. Common mistake. Open water gunning in the first minutes. That gets you spotted, radared, and erased. Fix. Remember your role. Spot first. Duel when you know you can win. Objective control and capping. Destroyers are the kings of the cap circles. You're the only class with the stealth and speed to grab objectives reliably, but the secret is, capping is less about rushing in and more about controlling when and how caps flip. How to do it right. Always enter caps angled out. That way, if you get spotted by radar or an enemy DD, you can instantly bail. Use smoke only if you're detected, and make sure you have an escape lane. Smoke doesn't stop radar or hydro, and it makes you an easy torp magnet. Prioritize side caps early. Central caps are almost always covered by radar cruisers. Flank caps are safer and often swing the map. Remember, resetting a cap is just as valuable as capturing one. If you can keep it contested while your team farms the enemy, you're still generating a points advantage. Why it matters. Caps generate points. In close games, that's the difference between a win and a loss. Smart capping forces enemies to react, exposes them to crossfire, and earns you serious credits and XP. Common mistake. YOLO capping at the start. 50% of DD deaths and randoms happen in the first 5 minutes because players rush circles blind. Fix. Spot the circle first, count the radar ships, and only step in when you've got support. Survival and team synergy. This is the golden rule of destroyers. Staying alive is your win condition. How to do it right. Learn throttle jukes. Don't just wiggle your rudder, vary your speed. Half the time, shells will miss you because you slow down or speed up unpredictably. Hug islands for cover, but always have a line of retreat. Run, last stand, and survivability expert. Those are your lifelines. Without them, one lucky shell ruins your game. Smoke isn't just for you. Drop it for allied cruisers or battleships when they're getting focused. A saved Cleveland can pump out more damage than your guns ever will. Watch your mini-map like a hawk. Radar ranges, Hydra cruisers, spotted DDs. These dictate your survival. Why it matters. A dead destroyer equals no vision, no cap contest, and no torpedo threat. A living destroyer in the late game is an assassin. You can flip caps, hunt stragglers, and torp isolated BBs. That's why top DD players survive 60 to 70% of their matches, because the longer you live, the more your influence multiplies. Common mistake, trying to be a lone wolf. A DD that dies alone on a flank contributes nothing. Fix. Think of yourself as a multiplier. Your spotting adds 2 or 3 times your own damage through team fire. Your survival enables your whole team's win. Bonus point, punishing submarines who overextend. Now before we wrap this up, let's talk about the class that so many players still struggle with, submarines. Here's the thing, most sub players overextend early. They race into the middle of the map, ping everything in sight, and burn their dive capacity like it's going out of style, and that's when a smart destroyer captain turns into a predator. If you see that mistake, pounce on it immediately. A DD that closes the gap, uses hydro or proximity spotting, and drops depth charges can erase a submarine before it even knows what hit it. Honestly, it's like watching my daughter's cat, Daphne, ambush her uncle's foot. Quick, brutal, and kind of funny if it's not happening to you. Pro tip, don't waste the chance. If the sub overextends, treat it as free XP and take them out fast. And hey, if you're one of those submarine players who feels called out right now, I've got good news for you. You should definitely subscribe to my channel and check out my submarine guides because trust me, you need them. So there you go. The 5 pillars and a bonus of destroyer play. Master concealment, use torps as pressure, keep gun discipline, control objectives, and above all else, survive to enable your team. I started as a destroyer main, and honestly, these habits still shape how I play every ship in World of Warships today. Spotting first, thinking about positioning, knowing when to fight and when to live for later. It all comes from learning DDs the hard way. If you're a DD captain, let me know in the comments which of these tips has worked for you, or if there's another golden rule you'd add. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, check out my other guides. I've got full videos on subs, cruisers, and more advanced tactics. Thanks for watching, I do appreciate it. And please feel free to click on the videos on your screen for more World of Warships content. But as always, take care, stay safe, and I wish you all the best. See you in the next one, and bye for now.